Are you a busy 40 plus founder, business owner, executive who would love to get in shape, build some muscle, lose some flab, be healthier, but doesn't have time? You know, you're constantly traveling, working, stress, and you've got a family, but you would like to change those things. You want to get in shape. This video is for you. We are going to cover how you can build muscle, get in shape with 3 sessions per week of about 30 minutes. And I will explain how you can do it in a short amount of time if you want to do more days, which some of my clients do. And this is going to be done at home. All you're going to need is either some dumbbells. You can use cable machine if you've got a gym at home, or you can just get yourself a set of these bands, which are wicked. I give them to my clients to take with them traveling so they can do their workouts in their hotel. So 3 days, 30 minutes max. The split is what we'll cover first. The training split is essentially how does it look over the course of the week? How do you split the body up? Now, the best way to do it is upper lower. Upper lower gives you some flexibility because you can do back-to-back days, upper lower, and then have a day off. Or you can do it every other day, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you did that, you would do like upper, lower, upper. Then the following week, you would go lower, upper, lower. That means you don't have to worry about like, am I training muscles too frequently? Do I have to do these back-to-back days? So upper lower is gonna be your split 3 times per week. Again, training from home. Now, one of the things that makes sessions long is straight sets. Now, a straight set is just when you do a normal set. So if I go into the gym and I do 20 repetitions, I'd say I've done a set of 20. That's referred to as a straight set. The mistake a lot of 40 plus busy men make is they do too much volume. They do 3, 4, 5, 6 sets. They do too many exercises. It takes hours. I was one of them once upon a time. I had a phase where I was doing Monday to Saturday, Sunday off. Sessions easily taking 2.5 to 3 hours because of all the extra, what we call fluff, junk volume that was in there, just stuff that wasn't needed. You guys are gonna do something called rest pause. Now, rest pause is very famous. You may have heard of it, you may have not. If you're a beginner, you could probably just spend a few months just doing 1 straight set. I'll come back to that in a minute. Those of you that are maybe slightly more advanced can do 1 rest pause set. Now, a rest pause, you need to get this right. You choose your exercise. We'll stick with push-ups as the example. You do a set of push-ups to failure. Typically after that, you would rest 2-3 minutes, then do another set. That's the straight sets. With a rest pause, you don't do that. You do your set of push-ups to failure. You then take 10 to 15 deep breaths, bit of recovery, refocus, then you do it again. You then take 10 to 15 deep breaths again, and you repeat. So you basically end up doing 1 set and a couple of mini sets. And what you'll end up seeing is you'll end up doing something like 10, 5, 2. And then what I used to do in my book when I'd done this is I'd just write, I'd add it up, 15, I'd put RP for rest pause. And I'd know that in total, doing 1 rest pause, I got 15, 20, whatever reps I did. Now, I won't bore you with the science, but what actually happens is because that first set is taken close to failure and you only have a short break, those next 2 mini sets, because your muscles are fatigued, those reps that you do are what we refer to as effective reps, or sometimes you'll see them referred to as stimulating reps. They are reps that will build muscle. If you have a 2, 3, 4 minute break and you do another straight set, you have to work through the repetitions again to get to that fatigue. So it shortens it down. 1 rest pause is going to be quite short. And you're just going to do 1 rest pause for all of these exercises. So you've got your upper lower, you've got your rest pause. Now, on the upper day, you are going to do 2 chest movements, 2 back movements, 2 shoulder movements, 1 bicep, 1 tricep. If you, anytime in this video, want to do more frequent sessions that are shorter, so you might think, well, I can't do 30 minutes 3 times a week, but I could do 15 or so, maybe 5 times a week. Just cut that in half and exclude arms because you're getting some arms in the pushing and the pulling anyway. So an upper might look something like press ups, band chest flies, banded wide row, maybe like a banded lat pull down, a banded lateral raise, a banded shoulder press, and then a banded bicep and tricep. Really simple. That's your upper. Lower, you're just going to do 2 quads, 2 hamstrings, 1 glutes. If you have time, like you might do some of these sessions and think to yourself, right, that was quicker. Or you might think, well, I don't need 30 minutes, I have 35. You could add in some calves, and some inner thigh. But an example of legs might be something like a banded stiff leg deadlift and the hamstring curls. Quads, I would just do something like a split squat, and then maybe something like like a leg extension. You can do leg extensions with bands. If you find that a bit of a faff, then I would probably just do one quad exercise and do 2 rest pause. Again, it depends what you have at home. For glutes, you're just gonna do some kind of bridge, single leg bridge for higher reps would work quite well. And then you're just gonna basically alternate between those 2 sessions. The really important thing to get here, and this is why you need to be careful if you're a beginner, is anytime that you are doing what we would refer to as quite low volume, like 1 rest pause is lowish volume compared to maybe somebody going in and doing 5 sets of push-ups. If you are going to do short sessions, it's a bit like cardio. If they're going to be short, they have to be intense. And therefore you have to work hard. If you're going to do a rest pause, and I've been guilty of this because there's a really famous workout called dog crap. Dog crap, every set is rest paused. And I did it when I was about 20 or 21. I must have just finished university, and I didn't have it in me to work as hard as it requires. Rest pause sets are intense. So that first set is going to be taken to failure, and those 2 mini sets are going to be taken to failure because you need quality hard reps to make up for the fact that you're not doing more volume. Somebody who goes into the gym and does a set, and I'll stick with push-ups as an example because it's easy to kind of visualize. Somebody does a set of push-ups who could maybe do 15 that stops at 10, 5 reps in reserve, needs way more volume, but that person might have the time to do 3 or 4 sets of push-ups. They might have time to then go, maybe they're working in the gym and they have time to do some chest flies and then some cable flies. You basically make up shitty sets, lazy sets with more. You don't have the option because you're short on time, so yours is going to be short and intense. So make sure when you do those rest pause, and this is quite safe, if you're using dumbbells or bands at home, if I fail a push-up or if I fail a band bicep curl, nothing's going to come of it. It's not like being in the gym where if you fail a leg press, you can get pinned by the machine. So there's your intensity. You should be able to get through those 2 workouts in no more than 30 minutes. You're not going to mess around, you're going to do a couple of warm-up sets if you need, but really the key to this is the rest pause set being challenging. So that's really the point I want to make. You have to make these rest pause sets really count, because if you don't, you won't get the benefits that you want. But that is how you can do 3 sessions per week. You've got the flexibility to do them back-to-back days. And if you're an executive like a lot of my clients, where your schedule might change and you might not always be able to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I get it with clients quite a lot who will be like, I can't do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's gonna have to be Monday, Tuesday, and 1 day at the weekend. Or I can do Saturday and Sunday because obviously I'm not working, and then 1 day in the week. The upper lower split is gonna give you the flexibility. 30 minutes, hard training. Combine that with just naturally bringing up your steps. You're busy, you probably haven't got time to do a ton of cardio, and learning how to eat well, control calories, control portions, make good choices while being busy, traveling, having client meetings and dinners and networking, etc. And those 3 sessions, I think you will be surprised how much you can get from doing them. And hopefully this is enough for those of you that haven't tried it to think, okay, I know that I've been putting off doing this because I can't dedicate 5 sessions a week, 2 hours, 10 hours, not including the drives back and forth to the gym. You haven't got the time for that. Hopefully this will give you the incentive to think, right, I'm going to give it a go.